All right, guys, let's go right through my picks for the week. First, on Thursday, we got Seattle versus Arizona. I'm picking Seattle to win. I just don't. I mean, obviously, it's a divisional game, and it's usually a good game when these two teams play, but I just don't trust Arizona. They always find ways to lose. Like Kyler Murray's gonna make a lot of plays, but then they find a way to lose at the end. They always do. I take Seattle. Mike McDonald's doing a great job over there. All right, next. Well, I might be out of order, but next I got Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. I'm taking Minnesota here. I just like the way they're playing their defense. Brian Flores is just dialing it up over there. And Carson Wentz was a former MVP who just, you know, lost his confidence. And right now it looks like he's getting it back again. If he keeps playing like this, JJ McCarthy's going to have a hard time getting back on the field, guys. And Pittsburgh, you're going to find out on Sunday that they have a huge problem on the O line and they can't run the football. They're going to play a real formidable defense, and they're going to really see that those problems that they have are glaring and they need to be addressed. Also, other than DK Metcalf, they don't really have anyone else that can help him out. Like, they have a few gadget guys, but it doesn't seem like anyone that's really going to step up to be that number two, number three guy to make huge plays for them. So I trust Minnesota because they got guys everywhere. Next, we got Philly versus Tampa Bay. This is a potential conference championship matchup, in my opinion. I think Tampa is right up there with Philly, but they don't want people to know that yet. You know, that's going to be something they do later and, just shock people in the playoffs. But right now, they're going to keep it vanilla, and I think they'll let Philly win this game. They don't want people to see any potential teams that can beat them in the Super Bowl right now. They're not going to let us see them lose. Or they will let us see them lose, right? And then they'll let Philly win in the playoffs. Because we'll think about the time they played in Week 4, and we'll be like, "Wow, maybe the Bucks will win again." No, they just want you to think that. So you pick them, and they let Philly win. So it's just one of those things. If Philly loses, I feel like they're gonna lose to someone that's like not even gonna be in the playoffs or something. Like it's gonna be something stupid. Or they might just let them be this year's Chiefs from last year. Who knows? But with this game, it's going to be a really good game, or it is on paper anyway. It's just hard to go with either side here, but I'm going to go with Philly just because they're the champs. All right, next game we got New Orleans versus Buffalo. I picked Buffalo. That's easy. I don't think New Orleans has anything to offer. If New Orleans wins this or even covers the spread, you know that the Buffalo Bills let them, or we're told to let them. Next, we got Carolina versus New England. This one's going to be a tough game to call or pick. I'd stay away from it because it can go either way, and both teams are kind of in a rebuild. But I'm going to go with New England. But I don't feel good doing it. I think Carolina, they got that big win last week, and that might be the confidence they need to just propel themselves and keep going. So I'd be careful with Carolina. Carolina might have turned it around, but we will find out on Sunday. Unless if they go back to the old Carolina Panthers or the new team that's finally waking up. Next, we got Washington, Atlanta. I think they're going to let Michael Penix redeem himself. No one's going to see it coming. I think Atlanta's going to shock Washington. But I think it's going to be a close game, but Washington ends up winning in the end. But people are going to see flashes of Michael Penix, and they're going to be like, wow, this kid can play. But I think they're going to come up a little bit short. That's just my opinion. I think because Atlanta, their defense still needs a lot of work. They got weapons on offense, but their defense needs work. Next, we got Cleveland, Detroit. I'm taking Detroit here. That Cleveland win last week was stupid. I don't even know why they let them win. Well, I do. It's because of the money. But still, it's like Cleveland, like, why? You could have let Cleveland cover the spread without letting them win. Like, it's just stupid. They're not making the playoffs, unless they finally come to their senses and play Shedeur Sanders, which they will not do. He's not even the look team quarterback, so he's not even getting reps to get better. Like, it's just like, this is the Cleveland Browns. They're a bunch of losers. It's literally hell on grass over there. And that's what it is. Next, we got Tennessee versus Houston. This is going to be tighter than you think because Houston's got a problem on the O-line. You're going to see this as a close game because when you can't block in the trenches, it's just tough to win games. But there are moments where he does get time and he holds it too long. But that's because of all the times he didn't get time and he just is seeing ghosts, So, but I'm gonna pick Houston. I'll pick them to get it done, but I don't feel good doing it. All right, next we got the Chargers versus the Giants. Jackson Dart playing his first game. I think he's gonna shock some people. I think the Giants are gonna look really good with him. But I can't go against the Chargers here. I think the Chargers are just a better team than the Giants. Not just because of the record, just because of how everything's constructed. But who knows? Maybe the NFL has a change of heart and they just want the Chargers to lose to one of the worst teams in the league right now. Who knows? But then again, it is Jackson Dart's debut. They could have him look amazing. There's not much tape on him. So he could come out guns blazing because there's no tape on him. Or they just study the tape from college and they get a feel for him, right? And how Daboll runs his offense and try to figure him out. And maybe he looks lackluster. One thing's for sure, though, is if he looks bad and he starts losing confidence, they're going to put Russell Wilson back in there real quick. But I'm picking the Chargers to win. Next, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Niners. I picked Jacksonville here because San Fran just has so many injuries. They just lost Nick Bosa for the year, guy that's always hurt. You can't replace a guy like that. They've already been playing without Kittle, their quarterback. They're missing receivers. It's bad over here. It's a lot of weird things going on. So with that, guys, I just think Jacksonville's going to get it done. For once, Jacksonville is the team that has a lot or less drama than the other team. It's usually never the case in Jacksonville. All right, next we got Indy versus the Rams. I'm picking the Rams only because I think they're going to bounce back from that heartbreaking loss last week that they had to endure. The NFL forced them, guys, to literally lose like that. So I'm sure the NFL is going to let them, give them a bone and let them get their get blood in their teeth. So I got Indy losing to the Rams. Indy's looked well. They've looked good. They could win this game, but I don't know. I just think the Rams are going to be playing pissed off. Literally. So I just don't see it this week. Any other week, I would have said maybe, but not this week. They're seeing the Rams on a week that they're just going to be livid, guys. There's not going to be any smiles. All right, next, Chicago versus the Raiders. I'm picking Chicago to win. I don't really have much to go on. I just think they'll ride some of this momentum forward. And the Raiders just have a lot of holes, They got Crosby, I know. They got a couple pieces here, but it's just not enough, guys. It just isn't. I don't really trust the Raiders ever unless it's a divisional game, really. So, next we got the Ravens versus the Chiefs. I think they're going to let the Chiefs win because they don't want their golden boy going down too far with too many losses. And like I said before, or maybe I said that on Patreon, because I was going to say the Baltimore Ravens division is down this year. It's a down year for that division. So I think the best team coming out of that division will only have like maybe 10 wins, or maybe even less. Who knows? But it's going to be a down year in that division. Only one team might come out of there. Who knows? Well, no, then again, because the Texans division is horrible. So it'll be only one out of that division. So I doubt that'll happen with the Baltimore Ravens division. All right, next we got Green Bay versus Dallas. I got Green Bay here. I think they're going to just roll right through Dallas. Dallas getting whomped 2 weeks in a row. But then again, I don't know. Because teams in the NFL usually play better the next week if they get blown out the week prior. But then again, the Packers lost in such heartbreaking fashion to the worst team in the league. So I feel like they're going to be coming out guns blazing, wanting to freaking just kill people. You know what I mean? Whereas Dallas, they got blown out. When you get blown out, it's like, whatever. We suck. Let's move on. They're going to come in with that same mentality, in my opinion. CeeDee Lamb's going to be playing with a messed up ankle, and he's the thing that makes that offense go. Their run game is hit or miss, right? Their defense is trash. So, I don't know how the NFL justifies letting Dallas win any games. So, that's how you know it's even more fake. 2 more games. Jets, Miami. I'm taking Miami because McDaniel's job's on the line. I think he'll get the win in. The Jets are, they're missing their quarterback, so it's just tough to win like that. So, yeah, until they get their quarterback back and until they... Really, this coach just needs another draft or two before we can start talking about the Jets being good. We don't even know if this is they're going to be their quarterback. We really don't know. Like, we can speculate, but we don't even know. And one could say he kind of went out on a limb. Like, why did you even trade for this guy? Why did you even sign Justin Fields if you have a plan of getting another quarterback? You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of questions. We're going to have to see how it plays out. But, yeah, I got Miami winning. And last game, Cincy versus Denver. I got Denver trouncing them. If Cincy is in this game, if they make this a close game, guys, you already know what the time is. They're making them keep it close on purpose. Because we already know that Browning guy is terrible. And if they make him look good, it's because they told him to, and the defense is letting him. And that's the way that goes. Other than that, I'm picking the Broncos to win. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to join me next week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe also.